10 driving mistakes you should never do on Swiss roads. Driving in Switzerland is famously safe and scenic, but the country enforces traffic laws with absolute precision and exceptionally high fines. To avoid a ruined holiday or a heavily drained bank account, you must closely adhere to specific local regulations. So, here are the top 10 driving mistakes you must avoid on Swiss roads. Number 1. Speeding even by 1 kilometer per hour. The mistake? Assuming there is a generous tolerance margin like in other countries. The reality? Swiss speed cameras are highly sophisticated and have tiny error margins as low as 3 km per hour for a laser. Exceeding the limit by just 1 to 5 km per hour will trigger a costly fine, while higher speeds can result in vehicle impoundment and immediate license revocation. Action: set your cruise control exactly to or slightly below the posted speed limit. Number 2. Forgetting to turn on headlights during the day. The mistake? Driving with your headlights off on a perfectly bright sunny day. The reality? According to the Swiss Highway Code via Swiss Info, daytime running lights or dipped headlights are mandatory at all times for all motorized vehicles. Action: keep your lights switched on or auto the moment you start the vehicle. Number 3. Lane hogging on the highway. The mistake? Cruising in the left lane when the right lane is completely empty. The reality? The left lane on Swiss motorways is strictly reserved for overtaking. Staying in the left lane unnecessarily frustrates local drivers and violates standard traffic etiquette. Action: move back to the right lane immediately after safely passing another vehicle. Number 4. Ignoring the priority from the right rule. The mistake? Assuming you have the right of way because you are in a wider or seemingly major road. The reality? At intersections without explicit priority signs or traffic lights, traffic coming from the right always has the right of way. This rule applies strictly in residential areas and villages. Action: slow down at unmarked intersections and look right to yield to oncoming vehicles. Number 5. Driving on motorways without a vignette. The mistake? Entering the highway network, or autobahn, as we call it here in Switzerland or Germany, without a valid toll sticker. The reality? Switzerland does not use physical toll booths on its motorways. Instead, a mandatory annual toll sticker called vignette is required. Action: purchase a physical or electronic vignette at the border, gas stations, or via the official Federal Tax Administration portal before driving onto any highway. Number 6. Failing to stop completely for pedestrians. The mistake? Crossing through a zebra crossing because a pedestrian is still on the sidewalk. The reality? Pedestrians have the absolute priority at marked yellow crosswalks. If someone is approaching or standing near the crossing with the intent to cross, you must come to a complete stop. Action: halt completely rather than rolling forward slowly, as failure to do so will result in heavy fines. Number 7. Incorrectly using or forgetting the blue parking disc. The mistake: parking in a blue zone without displaying a parking disc or setting the time incorrectly. The reality? Blue zones offer free, time-limited parking, but you must display a blue parking disc behind the windscreen. The arrow must be set to the half-hour mark following your arrival. Action: if you arrive at 5 after 10, set your disc exactly 10:30. Never round backward or leave the disc blank. Number 8. Leaving the engine idling when stationary. The mistake? Keeping the car running while waiting at red light, a closed railway barrier, or while configuring your GPS. The reality? Environmental and noise protection laws prohibit unnecessary engine idling. Action: Switch off your engine manually if your car does not feature an automatic start-stop system whenever you anticipate a prolonged stop. Number 9. Mismanaging mountain driving and yielding. The mistake. Riding your brakes down long alpine descents or refusing to yield on narrow passes. The reality. Overusing brakes on steep mountain roads can cause them to overheat and fail. Additionally, explicit priority rules govern narrow mountain passes. Descending vehicles must yield to ascending vehicles unless the ascending vehicle has a clear passing bay nearby. Action. Shift into a lower gear to let engine braking control your speed down hills. Number 10. Failing to completely clear snow and ice. The mistake. Driving in winter with only a small porthole cleared on the windshield. The reality. Swiss law mandates a clear, unobstructed 180-degree view of the driver. Your windshield, front, side windows, mirrors, headlights, and car roof must entirely free of snow and ice before setting off. Action. Keep a proper ice scraper and snow brush in your vehicle. Leaving snow on the roof can cause it to slide down during braking, which carries severe legal penalties. Here are a few more tips if you are driving in big Swiss cities like Zurich. Navigating the city center requires knowing the major hubs, low speed zones, and transit routes. So here are a few points. Number 1. Blocking or cutting off trams. The danger? Trams always have the absolute right of way, even over pedestrians. They cannot steer away to avoid you, and their braking distance is significant. The mistake? Stopping on tram tracks while waiting to turn or failing to check your blind spot for a tram when crossing tracks. Action. Never track hog. Yield immediately whenever a tram is approaching. Number 2. Driving through the Langstrasse camera trap. The mistake? Driving through the main transit section of Langstrasse during the day. The reality? To reduce traffic, Zurich enforces a strict daytime driving ban for private cars on a key section of Langstrasse between Braustrasse and Windstrasse. The route is monitored by automated license plate cameras. Action. Avoid driving through Langstrasse between 5:30 and 10 p.m. Follow the detour signs or use the main transit loops like Weststrasse. Number 3. Misunderstanding the white parking lanes. The mistake. Parking in a white-lined spot and walking away without paying, thinking it's free like the blue zones. The reality? White parking spaces in central Zurich are strictly paid. They are heavily monitored, and missing your time by even 5 minutes will result in a ticket. Action. Look for nearest central parking meter or pay digitally using local parking apps like EasyPark or Twint. Central multi-story options like Parkhaus Urania or Parkhaus Jelly are much safer choices to avoid street parking stress. Number 4. Ignoring the 30 km per hour and 20 km per hour speed zones. The mistake? Driving 50 km per hour because you are on what looks like a main city road. The reality? Zurich has aggressively expanded its 30 km per hour speed zones across the city to curb noise and emissions alongside 20 km per hour in residential hubs. Action. Watch the road markings closely. Speed cameras in Zurich are often disguised as small gray or green boxes on the sidewalk and are highly active in these low speed zones. Number 5. Entering the city center without a parking plan. The mistake? Cruising around the Altstadt or Old Town or near the Zurich Hauptbahnhof, that's central station, hoping to stumble upon an open street parking spot. The reality? Street parking is exceptionally scarce, strictly timed, and traffic congestions around the central station is punishing due to pedestrian crossings and bus lanes. Action. Drive directly to major multi-story parking garage like Parkhaus instead of searching on the street. Check the electronic parking guidance system signs around the city entry points, which display real-time vacant spaces for local garages. Alright, that is all I got for you for today. If you watched this far, thank you very much. The remaining part of the video will show you the natural traffic in Switzerland. In this video, the footage is from Zurich city. Enjoy. Ciao.